Could George Pickens be the future wide receiver 1 in Las Vegas? Amari Cooper back in the silver and black, and the Raiders add more linebacker help to the defense. Yo, what is up, Raider Nation? It's your boy Amari Raider back at it again with yet another video. If this is the very first time you guys are coming across the channel and you love daily Raider content, then hit that subscribe button, hit that notification icon button just to notify you guys when I upload more videos just like this. We are on the verge of 50,000 subscribers, so if you guys haven't already, hit that subscribe button and would definitely appreciate it. But with that said, let's get right into the thick of things. I want to start by talking about George Pickens. Now, you guys might be wondering, why the hell are we talking about George Pickens out of nowhere? Well, George Pickens posted this on his Instagram story, and of course, all the speculations and rumors started flying around, and of course, a lot of Raider fans were kind of putting two and two together and thinking that the Raiders should go and trade for a guy like George Pickens. Of course, the Raiders do need some wide receiver help. We do need to find that wide receiver of the future that could pair up with Jacoby Myers, Trey Tucker on this team, and the Raiders haven't addressed the wide receiver position at free agency so far. So that begs the question, should the Raiders trade for George Pickens? My answer is no. I would stay far away from George Pickens, not because I think he's a bad wide receiver. I think he has all the traits, all the skill sets to be a dominant wide receiver in this league, and possibly one of the top, even a top 10 wide receiver in this league. But the thing that really scares me the most is his off the field issues. And yes, I know if he was to come over here with Pete Carroll and with Tom Brady, they could possibly put him in his place, but he's coming from a place where, you know, Mike Tomlin as a coach doesn't deal with a lot of bullshit. And the fact that he can't get him straight, who's to think that the Raiders can do the same thing? I don't know. But looking at the track record, former Steeler wide receivers coming to the Las Vegas Raiders, it really hasn't worked out much. You know, just years ago when we traded for Martavis Bryant, he didn't really come over here and do much with us. Of course, the infamous trade for Antonio Brown, a 3rd and 5th round pick, which we all thought was a steal, and we all thought he was going to be the future of the team, helping Derek Carr lead this team to the playoffs and maybe even the Super Bowl. My boy went crazy and never even played a down or a snap in the silver and black. So with that in mind, and the fact that George Pickens just hasn't seemed to put everything together, I would definitely pass on him. I wouldn't even want to trade him. I don't care how much it would cost for the Raiders to get him. I just would want to stay far away from that. And for a team that wants to stay away from drama and all that off the field antics, I think the Raiders should kind of stay away from him. Of course, though, you know, Pickens does have undeniable raw talent and big play potential, but his overall production and on-field behavior has been inconsistent. In his time with the Steelers, he put up around 900 yards with only 3 touchdowns, and his off-field controversies have drawn trade rumors around the media. And for the Raiders, though, adding a wide receiver with Pickens' explosiveness could help this offense, especially if they can acquire him at a low cost. However, the Raiders would need to consider whether his maturity and consistency fit their system alongside of Jacoby Myers and Trey Tucker. Overall, while Pickens could be an intriguing high upside addition, especially if the trade price was right, his current production and behavior issues make him a riskier developmental prospect rather than a sure fit immediate upgrade for the team. Like I said before, nothing against George Pickens, but I just feel like the Raiders can go in a whole different direction at the position. Of course, we do have needs, and the Raiders can address it in free agency, whether they want to go get one of these older wide receiver veterans to come and join the team, or go into the draft and draft somebody like T-Mac in the 1st round, or maybe go get one of these other wide receivers later on in the draft. But what are your thoughts, Raider Nation? Would you guys want to trade for George Pickens and bring him over here to Las Vegas? And if you do, what price would you give up to bring him over here? Let me know your thoughts down in the comments below. Now, since we're talking about the wide receiver position, I want to talk about a former wide receiver that used to play for the Raiders, not in Las Vegas, but in Oakland, former 1st round pick for the Raiders, Amari Cooper. Now, according to NFL rumors, they tweeted out that the Raiders and Cowboys have been linked to Amari Cooper. And of course, there is no secret that the Raiders do need to add more depth to the wide receiver room. I talked about it before with George Pickens, but I wouldn't entertain that. With that said, though, Geno Smith, of course, is going to need as much weapons as he can use over here in Las Vegas, and especially for whatever future quarterback that we bring over, I think we should definitely look at all the options out there. And Amari Cooper is one guy that I wouldn't mind coming over here to Las Vegas. Now, according to Bill Barnell of ESPN, he listed the best fits for free agents that are still available. He listed a wide receiver that has ties to the silver and black as the best fit for Las Vegas. He named Amari Cooper as an option the Raiders should consider this offseason as they look to add talent. Now, he also stated that Amari Cooper still has a bit in the tank to be a solid wide receiver option in the league, especially for the Raiders, recently making the Pro Bowl in 2023 with the Cleveland Browns having over 1,250 yards and 5 touchdowns in that season. On top of that, though, Amari Cooper looks to get around the same contract that DeAndre Hopkins got in free agency, somewhere around a 1-year deal worth $5 million. And for me, would I consider bringing Amari Cooper back to the silver and black at that price? Hell yes. Amari Cooper has been one guy that I've loved ever since we drafted him, and one guy that I wish we never let go. I know he had to leave. He wanted to leave. We traded him away for a first-round pick, and he spent time in Dallas, Cleveland, the Bills, and now he's a free agent. And my feelings are the same. Just as much as I wanted to bring Khalil Mack back to the silver and black is the same reason why I would want to bring Amari Cooper back. There's a need at the position for this team, and we could use that veteran depth, and we got a quarterback that could get the ball to him if we're able to. Just imagine our wide receiver core right now with Amari Cooper, Jacoby Myers, Trey Tucker. Then you go out and add somebody, maybe a T-Mac in the draft. I feel like the wide receiver room would be crazy, and especially because we already got guys like Brock Bowers. We still got Michael Mayer right now. We haven't traded him yet, but we'll see what happens. And then we go and address the running back position as well. I feel like the Raiders offense could be really good this season. Overall, yes, I would love to have Amari Cooper back in the silver and black. I feel like he has a lot of unfinished business over here, and just as a veteran option, and just as a mentor, and just as a guy that could go out there and still get the job done, and just be a solid wide receiver option for this team, he does it all for us. And I would rather bring in Amari Cooper than going out and training for George Pickens. Heck, I'd bring Amari Cooper over Tyler Lockett or even Keenan Allen if that was my choice. Again, it comes down to the price. But what do you guys think, Raider Nation? Would you guys open your arms up and bring Amari Cooper back home? Or are you guys past that and are not trying to revisit that anymore? Just go find another wide receiver. Let me know your thoughts down in the comments below. One reason why I feel like the Raiders could still afford a guy like Amari Cooper, or maybe even go make a little bit more splashes in free agency, is because of the fact that we freed up a little bit more money. According to Jason Fitz, he tweeted that the Las Vegas Raiders have restructured defensive tackle Christian Wilkins' contract. Fitzgerald also confirmed that Wilkins' restructure took place approximately about a week ago to prorate his $20 million bonus. The Raiders currently sit at $59.6 million in cap space, according to Over the Cap. Now, the Raiders have freed up about $15 million in additional cap for the 2025 offseason. So with that being said, who could the Raiders be spending that money on? Now, I know there's been a lot of question on Geno Smith and his contract. He hasn't really came in yet. He hasn't had a presser yet. He hasn't signed a contract. It hasn't been official yet. And I know that there's people saying that he failed a physical and they're just waiting on a lot of things. But I'm not really too worried about that. And maybe most of this money could go to him depending on what the Raiders are going to be giving him as far as an extension. Because the Raiders are going to be giving him an extension. And there has been a lot of reports and rumors going around that the Raiders could be giving him around $40 to $45 million, which I'm not for. I don't agree with, especially for Geno Smith, but we'll have to wait and see. Maybe that's the reason why the Raiders are trying to free up this much money, and maybe that's one of the main reasons why the Raiders are being a little bit frugal in free agency so far. So we'll find out more on what the Raiders are going to end up doing, because we still got more pieces, we still got more holes to fill as far as this team, offensively and defensively. So whether we want to go out and spend it on a wide receiver like Amari Cooper or Keenan Allen or Tyler Lockett or anybody else, or even Asante Samuels Jr. or anybody else on the defensive side of the ball, then this news definitely helps out. But one move that the Raiders did make recently was signing former Patriots linebacker Christian Elliss. According to Tom Pelissero, he tweeted out that the Las Vegas Raiders are signing former Patriots linebacker Christian Elliss to an offer sheet. Now, the Raiders hosted linebacker Christian Elliss, a restricted free agent, on a visit. Elliss, just 26 years old, started 5 games for the Patriots. He received a 1-year, $3.3 million tender from the Patriots, who can match or decline any offer sheet from the Raiders. And with that, according to some reports, it seems like the Patriots are going to decline matching any offer that he got from the Raiders, making him officially a Las Vegas Raider. And for all the players that the Patriots have stole from us in free agency, it's good to finally get back at him and get somebody. I know he's not really the biggest name out there, but I do feel like Christian Elliss is a solid move for the Raiders, especially for a linebacker room that definitely needed some depth. Now, Christian Elliss seems to be a solid, low-risk addition for the Raiders. While he's not viewed as a star, his versatility, both as a rotational linebacker and a key special team contributor, he adds valuable depth to a linebacker core that recently lost some key players. Last season with the Patriots, he totaled 80 tackles, 1.5 sacks, 1 interception, 1 forced fumble, and 1 fumble recovery. Overall, I can't really hate on a lot of moves. I'm not really expecting much out of Christian Elliss, but it's a good sign knowing that the Raiders are bringing in more depth at a position of need. And maybe he could be one of those guys that could come in with not a lot of expectations, but end up being a guy that could be critical for the defensive side of the ball. I just hope that the Raiders can go out and sign more players, and especially in the draft, we're going to have to address the linebacker position a lot if we don't go out and sign any more players. Now, I'm really interested in seeing what the Raiders are going to do moving forward, because we still got a couple more weeks until the NFL draft. But if there's a player out there that you guys are interested in seeing the Raiders going out and bringing in and signing, who would it be? Let me know down in the comments below. With that said, though, Raider Nation, I appreciate each and every one of you guys for stopping by the channel. I know we've slowly been growing, and I've slowly been as consistent as I can be on this channel. So if you guys haven't already, like I said before, hit that subscribe button, hit that like button. It takes a little bit of time, but does a lot for this channel. And trust me, we're going to be doing much more things, and I want to go live more, especially leading up into the NFL draft. But with that said, until the next video, this is your boy Samo Raider and your boys. Yeah.